Beneath the crackling skies where storms brew with electric fury and the heavens rumble with untamed power, there stands a guardian as mighty and resilient as the cosmos itself, Sailor Jupiter. She is the embodiment of strength and grace, a warrior whose soul is as wild and fierce as the thunderstorm she commands, yet as gentle and nurturing as the earth she loves. Named after the largest planet in our solar system, Jupiter's very essence pulses with the energy of the skies and the deep grounding force of nature. Her power surges like the great red storms of Jupiter, fueled by the force of thunder and the crackle of lightning. But within her lies the tender growth of the oak tree, unshakable, enduring, and sheltering. She is the shield of her friends, the steadfast defender who stands tall in the face of danger. But even behind her imposing strength, Makoto carries a heart that blooms with love and hope, forever chasing the dream of happiness, even when it feels as distant as the stars. Her story, like the sky she commands, is a symphony of thunder and elegance. Sailor Jupiter, known as Makoto Kino, was born on December 5th, which makes her a Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign ruled by the planet Jupiter, which perfectly aligns with her character as Sailor Jupiter. In Japanese, Makoto means truth, sincerity, or honesty. This is highly reflective of her personality. She is always honest with her feelings and shows a deep sense of sincerity, particularly in her loyalty to her friends. Her straightforward nature aligns with the meaning of her name, as she values truth and never hides behind false pretenses. Kino is composed of two kanji characters, ki meaning tree or wood, no meaning field or plain. This surname emphasizes Makoto's deep connection with nature, especially plants and trees, which reflects her powers as Sailor Jupiter, who often uses nature-based attacks like Flower Hurricane and Jupiter Oak Evolution. Her blood type is O, and according to Japanese culture, people with blood type O are considered to be outgoing, go-getters, and daring, all fitting characteristics to her. Sailor Jupiter's powers align with the Thunder God archetype, a figure present in many mythologies worldwide. In Roman mythology, Jupiter is the king of gods, ruling over the sky, thunder, and lightning. As the counterpart of the Greek god Zeus, Jupiter is associated with justice, power, and authority. These gods wield control over lightning, thunder, and storms, symbolizing both destruction and protection. The archetype is a fitting metaphor for Kino's personality, which combines raw power with a deep desire to protect those she cares about. Makoto Kino is one of the most compelling and emotionally complex characters in Sailor Moon. Her parents died in a plane crash when she was very young, leaving her orphaned and deeply affected by the trauma of their sudden death. This loss profoundly shapes who she becomes and influences both her strengths and vulnerabilities throughout the series. Though not much detail is given about the exact circumstances of the plane crash, its emotional impact is a central part of her character. In the manga and anime, it is established that Makoto has been living alone without guardians or close family since their death. Her independence at a young age and her ability to care for herself, both physically and emotionally, are directly tied to this traumatic event. In various episodes and chapters, Makoto speaks about her parents with a combination of sorrow and stoicism. Their absence has clearly left a void in her life, one that she attempts to fill through her friendships and her intense desire to protect those she cares about. The death of her parents is not just a backstory detail, but a defining moment that influences her entire worldview. Makoto transferred to Juban Public High School, bringing with her an intimidating reputation. The other students quickly warn Usagi and her friends to stay away from Makoto due to her imposing height, unusual strength, and rumors of her to be violent. On her first day, Makoto is shown physically confronting a group of boys, further cementing her misunderstood image as a dangerous individual. The most charming and unexpected traits revealed during her introduction is Makoto's domestic side. She makes a delicious lunch for herself, surprising Usagi with her culinary skills. This moment shatters the misconception of her as solely a tough girl and introduces a deeper, softer layer and emotional complexity to her character. One of the most interesting aspects of Sailor Jupiter's character is her blend of both traditionally feminine and masculine traits. While she is known for her combat skills and physical strength, she is also exceptionally domestic, with a love of cooking, gardening, and homemaking. This duality makes her an appealing and multifaceted character, showing that strength and femininity are not mutually exclusive. It challenges traditional gender roles, showing that tough and sensitivity can coexist. She is both a protector and a nurturer, a fighter and a homemaker, blending these traits seamlessly without feeling the need to conform to society's expectations of femininity. She's a compelling character because of her inner contrasts: strength and vulnerability, independence and a longing for connection. Initially, she struggled with this duality, unsure of how to balance these two sides of herself. She feared that her physical strength made her less feminine or desirable, especially in the context of romantic relationships. A central attribute of her character development is her journey to embrace and accept both her physical strength and her femininity, learning that her toughness does not diminish her capacity for tenderness, and that it's okay to lean on others. This acceptance is a crucial part of her to embrace a more histolic identity. A unique and defining feature of Makoto's character is her dream to one day open a bakery or a flower shop. This is a representation of her desire for self-actualization, the realization of her personal potential, and to create something stable, peaceful, and nurturing. This ambition speaks to her more gentler and more delicate nature, which contrasts with her physical strength and tomboyish reputation. Makoto loves cooking and baking, and her culinary skills are well known among her friends. She often brings homemade lunches and treats to school, delighting the other Sailor Senshi with her talents in the kitchen. Her interest in food and baking displays her desire to care for others, as cooking for someone is a form of expressing love and warmth. Similarly, her aspiration to open a flower shop symbolizes the kindness in her heart. Flowers represent beauty, growth, and life, qualities that she deeply values. These dreams are closely tied to her need for emotional fulfillment and her longing for a sense of home and belonging. They reflect the central theme of her character, finding a balance between her power and her nurturing nature. In a psychological standpoint, Sailor Jupiter's power and her tough demeanor can be seen as a defense mechanism to guard against emotional vulnerability. People who experience trauma or abandonment early in life often develop protective behaviors to cope with their inner pain. While Makoto is emotionally sensitive, particularly when it comes to love and loss, she tends to use her physical toughness to mask or compensate for her inner vulnerability. Her fierceness and tendency to throw herself in battle can be seen as a way to channel her emotional pain into something productive and protective. Rather than letting herself dwell on feelings of loneliness or rejection, she assists herself as a strong, independent figure. While she hides her own pain, Makoto becomes an emotional anchor for the rest of the group. She is often the one who confronts others when they are in distress, providing them with emotional strength and support. In this way, she embodies both power and vulnerability. She is strong for others even when she feels weak inside. Sailor Jupiter, the embodiment of both raw power and untamed grace, stands as a force of nature within the Sailor Senshi. Her abilities are drawn from the might of the heavens and the earth, fusing the untouched power of lightning with the steady strength of the planet beneath her feet. When she calls upon her powers, it's as though the sky itself answers her, roaring with thunder and flashing with blinding energy. Throughout the anime and manga, her attacks evolve in complexity and intensity as her character grows stronger. Supreme Thunder is Sailor Jupiter's most iconic and first attack. She raises her hands to the sky, calling down a bolt of lightning that she channels into her tiara. This lightning is then fired as a powerful electric attack at her enemy. Supreme Thunder Dragon is a more advanced version of Supreme Thunder. After calling down lightning, the energy forms into a dragon shape. The dragon symbolizes her deep inner power and ferocity, with the dragon often being a symbol of protection and strength. Flower Hurricane creates a whirlwind of flowers that she directs at her enemy, usually disorienting or overwhelming them rather than causing direct harm. This is one of Sailor Jupiter's most nature-based attacks, which highlights her connection to plant life and symbolizes her softer, nurturing side, in contrast of her powerful thunder-based attacks. When summoning sparkling white pressure, Sailor Jupiter forms a disc or a ball of electricity between her hands and throws it at her enemies, resulting in a widespread electric explosion. This attack is a step up from her initial abilities and reflects her growth and increasing confidence in her powers as a Senshi. Jupiter Coconut Cyclone appears in the manga in Sailor Moon Crystal. As Sailor Jupiter creates a large, swirling cyclone of wind and electricity, launching it at her enemies for devastating damage. This attack highlights her mastery of the forces of nature. Jupiter Oak Evolution is primarily used in the Sailor Stars arc, and her strongest attack in both the manga and the anime. In this attack, she summons a spiral of leaves and energy made of green lightning bolts, which she sends towards her enemies, causing massive destruction. This attack reflects her ultimate growth, combining all aspects of her powers, lightning, nature, and strength, into one cohesive and devastating move. Sailor Jupiter is also known for her physical prowess, often fighting enemies physically using her impressive variety of hand-to-hand combat martial arts skills and raw strength to overpower them. These attacks are less magical but showcase her unique role as both a protector and a physical powerful dominant fighter within the Sailor Senshi. Her heart not only beats passionately on the battlefield, but also beats for the passion of love. A key element of Makoto's early character arc is her longing for romantic love and finding companionship. She often reflects on her past relationship with her senpai, an older boy she admired and had strong feelings for, which ended in heartbreak. She frequently brings him up, comparing other boys she meets to him. This senpai becomes a recurring figure in her thoughts, representing an idealized form of love in the sense of emotional fulfillment she seeks. Romantic idealization involves placing someone on a pedestal, making them a symbol of what one desires in love, often stemming from feelings of emotional insecurity. This dream of finding love isn't just about romance. It reflects her deeper desire for companionship, contentment, and to replace the emotional void left by her parents' absence. She is searching for someone who can provide the sense of safety, security, and belonging that she lost when they died. However, as the series progresses, her romantic aspirations begin to evolve and move beyond this idealized notion of love. She learns that love can take different forms, and her deep bonds with the Sailor Senshi begin to fulfill some of her emotional needs, offering her a deep sense of purpose and belonging. Her journey shows that while romantic love remains a part of her dreams, she comes to understand that friendship, loyalty, and shared purpose with her friends are equally, if not more, valuable. Shinozaki is a childhood friend of Makoto. He appears in episode 49, being attacked by a Cardian. Makoto approaches the scene and immediately recognizes the Cardian's victor as Shinozaki. As the monster tries to attack her, Shinozaki manages to knock her out of the way just in time, but goes flying over the edge of the hill. She immediately rushes him to the hospital, but they don't have enough type O blood, so Makoto saves his life by volunteering to give hers. Back at the hospital, Makoto describes Shinozaki as someone special that is always there for her. In a flashback, we see Under the Rain as her boyfriend at the time breaks up with her and runs off. Shinozaki appears and pulls an umbrella over her, showing that he was always there for her during her most difficult times in life. Usagi assumes that they must be in love. Makoto denies it, saying that their relationship may be more important than just lovers. Makoto goes on to say that ever since she was little, whenever she was in pain or having a hard time, he was always there when she looked up, and that even when the Cardian appeared earlier, despite him being the one in danger, he rushed to protect her. Later that episode, the anemic symptoms were evident due to the blood she gave earlier at the hospital, but that didn't stop her. She emerged stronger to avenge her dearest friend. With her fierce electric spirit, she called on her guardian planet Jupiter to breed a storm, call the clouds, and bring down the lightning. With one hit of her supreme thunder, she destroys the Cardian all on her own. The episode ends with Shinozaki and his mother leaving the hospital while Makoto and her friends look from afar. Usagi suggests Makoto to go and greet him, but she declines and says that Shinozaki was always the one looking after her from a distance, so she will stay and do the same. Though not a romantic relationship, it's clear that they share a special bond, one of deep friendship, trust, and emotional support. Shinozaki is one of the few people who truly sees the real Makoto, not just the tough, tall girl everyone else misunderstands, but the gentle, deeply emotional person she is inside. She's always the source of strength for everyone, but with him, she finally found someone to lean on, a safe place to cast aside the armor and let the walls fall, to show the cracks and scars and embrace her humanity. Makoto's story strikes a powerful emotional chord because it reveals the inner world of a character who on the surface seems invincible. The contrast between her outward appearance, strong, confident, independent, and the internal emotional turmoil she experiences is deeply moving. It reminds readers that even the strongest individuals can carry profound emotional burdens. Her story stems from a universal feeling, the desire to be seen, understood, and loved. For anyone who has felt the weight of unspoken sadness while maintaining a facade of strength, her story showcases the importance of emotional support, self-love, and resilience, while also portraying the difficulty of navigating depression when everyone expects you to be the strong one. This exploration makes Sailor Jupiter's story deeply relatable. Her inner struggles emphasize the importance of friendship in overcoming hardship. Makoto's friends Usagi, Ami, Rei, and Minako are always there for her, even if they don't immediately realize the depth of her sadness. As the story progresses, they offer her comfort and remind her that she is loved and valued, not just for her strength, but for who she is as a person. Sailor Jupiter's heart holds within a powerful storm, a storm born of loss, loneliness, and the weight of her own strength. Orphaned and misunderstood, she carries the scars as deep as the craters of Jupiter's moons. Yet through the clouds of heartbreak and isolation shines a spirit as vast and hopeful as the planet's endless horizons. In her, we see the beauty of duality, the fierce protector who can summon lightning from the heavens, and the compassionate soul who dreams of creating a peaceful life among flowers and sunlight. She is the storm and the calm after it, the thunderclap of power and the quiet beauty of growth. As the protector of her team and the guardian of nature's fury, she reminds us that within every tempest, there is also a serene, unyielding strength that shapes the world anew. In every battle she faces, Sailor Jupiter's heart thunders with the promise of protection and the quiet hope that through her strength, she can save others from the pain she knows too well. Her journey is one of profound beauty, an endless dance between loss and love, where her every command of the heavens and every strike of lightning illuminates the depths of her soul. As she stands alongside her friends, her bond with them grows into something more than mere friendship. It becomes the family she lost, the heart of the storm that sustains her. In Sailor Jupiter, we find not just a warrior, but a soul searching for connection in a world where power can be found in both the rage of the sky and the kindness of a single heart. Her story invites us to explore the vastness of the universe within ourselves, our vulnerabilities, our dreams, our power, and to embrace it all as Sailor Jupiter does, with unwavering courage and a heart that is always reaching towards the light.